The Parliament has passed the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill of 2023 to amend the Forest Conservation Act of 1980. These amendments aim to clarify the scope of the Act's applicability and eliminate some ambiguities. It also proposes exemptions for strategic projects concerning national security, connectivity to habitation and establishments, security-related infrastructure, and public utility projects. These amendments also include the insertion of a preamble to broaden the scope of the Act and change its name to the SanrakshanEvamSamvardhan Adhiniyam 1980. In today's video, we will understand these amendments and the government's objective behind making these changes despite some strong opposition. We will also look at some of the business opportunities that have been created in the private sector. Welcome to Enterclimate. My name is Shaleen. First, let's understand why these amendments were required. The Forest Conservation Act of 1980 has been an essential central statute for the conservation of forests in the country. It provided that the de-reservation of reserved forest, use of forest land for non-forest purposes, assigning forest land by the way of lease or otherwise to a private entity, and clearing the naturally grown trees for the purpose of reforestation requires prior permission from the central government. The applicability of the Act in various types of lands have been dynamic. That is, initially, the provisions of the Act were being applied to the notified forest land only. Subsequently, after the judgment dated 12th of December 1996, the Act was made applicable to revenue forest lands or those lands which were recorded as forest in the government records and to the areas which looks like forest in the dictionary meaning. Many such lands were already put in non-forestry uses such as habitation, institution, roads, etc. with required approval of the competent authority. These situations resulted in different interpretation of the provisions of the Act with respect to their applicability, especially in recorded forest lands, private forest lands and plantations. Now let's look into the amendments in a bit detail. As per the government, the afforestation and plantation of trees outside forest were not getting desired impetus, which was becoming a hindrance in enhancing green cover to fulfill the nationally determined contribution targets of creating an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 equivalent. Also, in the statement of object and reasons of the bill, it was stated that it is necessary to broaden the horizon of the Act to achieve the objective of increasing the forest cover to create additional carbon sinks. Therefore, the amendment aimed to promote afforestation and plantation of trees outside forest, enhance forest productivity, and address climate change challenges. The Act now also includes provisions for infrastructure for frontline forest staff, ecotourism, zoos, and safaris. These amendments will contribute to the conservation and augmentation of forest and improve the livelihood of local communities. Besides these, the strategic and security-related projects of national importance that need to be fast-tracked to ensure the development of vital security infrastructures, especially along the international borders such as the line of actual control, the line of control, as well as the notified LWE areas. Similarly, small establishments and habitations on the side of roads and railways also need to be facilitated by providing access to connectivity to the main arterial roads and other public utilities. During the intervening period after the promulgation of the Act, new challenges relating to ecological, social, and environmental developments have been emerged at national and international levels. Therefore, to carry forward the country's rich tradition of preserving forests and their biodiversity and to tackle the climate change challenges, it was necessary to encompass such issues in the ambit of the Act. Now, as we pointed out, the amendments includes changing the name of the Act to the SanrakshanEvamSamvardhan Adhiniyam 1980. so as to ensure that the potential of its provisions reflects in its name. This, according to the government, will also help in clarifying the scope of applicability of the Act in various lands to eliminate ambiguities. In addition to these amendments, certain exemptions as proposed in the bill have also been passed by the Parliament, which includes the exemption of strategic projects concerning national security located within 100 kilometers of the distance from international borders. To bring uniformity, existing provisions of the Principal Act relating to the assignments of forest land on lease to private entities have also been extended to government companies. The bill also added new activities such as infrastructure for frontline forest staff, ecotourism, zoos and safaris into the array of forestry activities for the cause of the conservation of forest. Surveys and investigations in the forest areas will now be considered a non-forestry activity because such activities are temporary and involve no perceptible change in land use. Section 6 of the bill empowering the central government to issue directions for properly implementing the Act have also been passed. The exemption of recorded forest land, which has already been put into non-forestry use before 12th of December 1996 by the orders of the competent authority, can be used to take benefits of various developmental schemes of the state as well as the central government. Therefore, including more activities such as forestry activities in the Act and infrastructure for frontline will help secure quick response to natural hazards in the forest. As for the want of enabling provisions in the Act, it is challenging to create such basic infrastructure in the forest area affecting forestry operations, regeneration activities, monitoring and supervision. These provisions will pave the way for better management of forest for improved productivity, and the flow of ecosystem goods and services will also add to mitigate the impact of climate change and conservation of forest. Now coming to ecotourism. Ecotourism, as per the approved working plan or the wildlife management plan or a tiger conservation plan, can now be taken up in the forested area. Such facilities that aim to sensitize and generate awareness about the importance of protecting and conserving forest land and wildlife will now add to the livelihood of sources for local communities as well. Now, how effectively an environmental expert or a consultant manage their role during the various clearance process for projects near protected areas will be crucial. Therefore, a project proponent must only place their trust in experienced and certified consultants for this important role. At Enterclimate, we have a pan-India network of NABERD certified and seasoned EIA consultants who can carry out all project compliances and reporting for your project. So, if you have any queries related to the clearance process for your project, contact our experts from the details shown. So that was all for today's video. I hope you found it informative. Thank you for watching.